Dr. Michael Woodward, aka Dr. Woody, is a professional coach working with governments and corporations to end the flood of horrible bosses in the workplace.
Yes, and here to help us understand why the wrong people keep getting promoted and to give us some tips for what we can do to find ourselves in and out of a bad situation as quickly as possible is Dr. Woody. Dr. Woody, welcome to the show.
That's quite a responsibility you've given me, by the way, fixing companies and governments all over the world. But, you know, I'll do my best.
Well, let's talk. First of all, you say that it's often the best performers that get promoted, but being good at your job doesn't mean you'll be a good manager. Yeah. So what makes a good manager? Let's start there.
Well, I'll step back. It's what I call the player-to-coach phenomenon.
Okay.
So if you look at any sports, particularly in America, it is rare you will find a great coach that also became, or that was a great player to begin with, right?
Okay.
It's very rare. If you look at the Super Bowl, both coaches never played professionally. If you look at many sports, like, for example, the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra never played professionally.
What about my namesake, Pat Riley, Miami Heat? Was
so
he any good?
He is one example of a player who was pretty good in his day, but he's the exception to the rule.
Gotcha.
It's very rare. So it's a totally different mindset, but we make the mistake of thinking that if you're really good at what you do, you must be good at doing it through others, and it's a totally different mentality. Star players aren't necessarily the ones you want beating people up, trying to get them to work.
That's a very good point. But why do you think there's so many horrible bosses in the workplace? Because I've had a horrible boss. You've had a horrible boss.
Several.
Me too.
We can all relate to it. And
it's a universal problem. Why is that?
So it's two things. One, like I mentioned, a lot of times we pick the wrong person for the wrong reasons, and then we don't give them the help they need.
Got you.
So it's not natural to be a great doer, to be great at something, and then to be handed a clipboard, said you got to sit on the sidelines, and now you got to do it through other people.
So you use the coaching analogy.
Right.
Are these skills that can be coached?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Now, you know, there is some kind of a mentality difference versus skills that you can train and develop in people. But at the end of the day, it's helping a new manager step back and learn, first of all, empathy.
Okay.
It's understanding your people. It's looking at the different players you have, figuring out how to put them in the right positions.
Got you.
Because not everybody's the same. We all have different personalities, different backgrounds, different experiences. So how do we understand that first, like a great coach, and put the right people in the right places, and then get behind them positively?
Okay.
A lot of managers fall back on punishing negative things.
Well, I'm laughing for a minute because I'm saying you had me at empathy, but are you teaching empathy? Then you had me at positivity. Are you teaching positivity? Like, well, how do you? What's the takeaway?
You can, and it's not easy, right? But just like I hate to boil it down to this, but if you look at like the Westminster Kennel Club dog show, right?
Yes.
Where what are they doing constantly? They're rewarding positive behavior, so the dogs keep doing positive things, right?
True.
They're not punishing them and beating them up. And so, in a more complex way, we're like that in that you got to find ways to get positively behind people, to help people, to bolster them, to bring them up, to get them excited.
For example, you've got to give our horrible bosses out there some takeaway. For example.
Yes.
For example, first of all, I think every single day when you walk into that office, that factory floor, wherever it is you work, say thank you.
Say thank you.
And spend time catching.
Crew, thank you. Thank you,
everyone.
crew.
We love you all.
We love you. We love you. Okay.
The other thing is, spend time catching people doing something right. We spend too much time worried about catching people doing wrong things and correcting it, when we should be spending time catching people doing good things, giving them a pat on the back, saying, hey, thanks, awesome, great job, and let them keep doing it.
So if you want to be the boss, how do you get to that corner office? Quickly.
I
Fast track.
First and foremost, I think you need to be reflective. Now, I'm going to sound like the preachy psychologist here.
That's
but
okay. We like that.
You need to step back and look at yourself and understand, being a good boss is about drawing the best out of you and connecting and communicating with people.
Okay.
So how do you make sure you spend that time thinking about who you are, how you act, how you put your best foot forward, and how you communicate effectively? Because remember, communication is a two-way street.
Sure.
So it's building that empathy. Empathy is about learning how to listen and put yourself in their shoes. So there's elements of it that can be
Well, real
learned.
quick, sometimes there's a generational divide. So how do you
Yeah,
make that
especially with
distinction?
these
Old guard,
Yeah.
new guard, the youngins, the millennials
the
versus
millennials.
the old heads.
Yeah.
How do you kind of marry that, bridge that?
Are you saying the rules apply to every generation?
I
Because
think
things
they
like
do.
empathy, understanding, being listening, finding the good in people, those span generations.
Yeah, I think a lot is made about generational differences. And I think a lot is overblown about generational differences. At the end of the day, we're all human beings.
Okay.
We have certain needs, especially when it comes to motivation. We have a need for purpose. We have a need for affiliation and communication with others. We have a need to master and learn things and get better at them. These span generations. How you tap into that may be a little bit different, but every generation, personalities are different. We've always had different personalities, different types of leaders in every generation.
Now we have 30 seconds. We've got to talk
Yeah.
about your book. Talk to us, the 5-step plan to a better career. What, give it to
The
me.
U plan is about me taking you through that process of stepping back and being reflective and thinking about who you are, what you want, and not being wed to that first job you took as being the rest of your life.
Got you.
You always have time.
All right. Well, Dr. Woody, if we want to find out more, your website is?
Just drwoody.com.
I love it. drwoody.com. Thank you. Are you a good boss?
I've been told I am, but
Okay.
not early on I wasn't. so.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So there's a learning curve.
There's a learning curve.
There's a learning
curve.
All right.
The
You're,
king of-
you're a good boss.
I try. I try. It's my favorite song.
Yeah.
The Boss
The
by
Boss.
Diana Ross.
During the break.
Bruce Springsteen,
During the break.
The Boss.
All right, Patrick. You're watching Arise Entertainment 360. We'll be right back. The Boss.